This is horrible music. I gotta get off this. Alright, get some. Okay. We're getting in to win it. Alright. Let's go. We got this. Create. Is this really... how do I want to organize this? Yeah, let's just do describe. Oh, no. What I think it is. It is what I think it is. Okay. I need to set up text objects in my new NeoVim configuration. But project ID and anonymous ID. Given the keep doing? Here is, well, that's what we need to look up. PostgreSQL delete versus truncate. Delete statement will mark every row matching where clause as deleted. If case of a billion of rows, this takes a relatively long time. Truncate is different. It's basically a table operation. Instead of touching each row separately, we'll simply empty the entire table and start a new data file. Sounds like what we want. And we don't actually want that. Is that the right syntax? I don't think so. Copilot. Be lying, maybe? And then we can actually just, let's lift this up here. And then we'll actually just call it in here. We're just going to await truncate DB tables with the PG client. Oop. I think that's right. And then we're going to do after each. Or before each. Sweet. Fancy do. Okay. Let's rename this to... Actually, let's get out of the editor real quick. And I think what we want to just do is move it up a level and then get rid of the DB folder. Maybe? Because everything... What else do we have in the DB stuff? Okay, we got the index, which is just the module and loading. We have the event user, which is just a type. We have this base error, it's just a type. Fetch greeting doesn't matter. It's just garbage. We have the create event user, which we tested. Find event user by ID. Ooh, we have update event user last seen. We need to test. And update event user anonymous ID and last seen. Okay. So then we're going to have another describe. Update. Event user last seen. Source. DB. Update event user last seen and update event user anonymous ID and last seen. Update event anonymous ID and last seen. Okay. But this again, yeah. Okay, let's just do it. Test. We're gonna move db create to dot slash als-ldb. Nothing's in there. rmrf. db's gone. We're gonna move create event user spec to db.spec.ts. Okay. Broke things, because now imports are off with our relative imports. Still off with our relative imports. Why can't it find you? I have to do this. Okay, we're back in. Okay, back to here. Let's true these up real quick. Actually, let's clean these up. When something. We're going to do the same over here. Describe when something. And then we're going to do it should something. We'll fill those in. Just trying to set up the basic structure of these real quick. Should something. God, you're so close. Sometimes Go Pilot, you're so close, but so far. Okay. The reason I did that was because I actually want to do the same here. I want to change this to when given a valid event user. And then we're going to change this to it creates. And then we're going to move this guy up here. Boom. Cleaned that guy up a bit. Okay, let's do another desk here. When given a project ID and user ID of an existing user. Fetches. Do this one. We're going to say when on this. Okay. That should be good. If we go up, we should still be good. Okay. Now we just got to true out these tests real quick. We'll have the happy paths covered for these. Okay. So we need to... Our action is going to be update event user last seen. So we're going to have to await that. And this takes a client, so we're going to give it the PG client, of course. And then we are going to deal with event user ID and last seen is the new last seen. And so the whole point of this is to update this last seen date in the database for this event user. So we need an existing user in the database, so we're going to have this. Okay, so we will have created an existing user in the database. We are going to give it a event user ID. So we're going to give it the stub event user.user ID. And we are going to give it a new date for last seen. Okay, and so let's const new last seen. It's going to be equal to new date. Except this time we're gonna like change it from 2008-20 to 9-20. 9-21 for 39-22 and 402. Let's try that. Okay. It's a future date though, which makes sense. That's our normal use case. Okay. And then we'll just give it new last seen. Okay, and then we're going to, oh, what does that return? Before we move on, let's make sure we get that covered. So that's a promise of an either. So we're gonna await, so we're gonna get an either const of update either. We're gonna have to have something that's is left of update either then throw. If it's successful, then we have a update event user last seen error or void. Okay, so we should be good there if that succeeds. And then we need to take this and fetch the record given their user ID and their project ID. So we're gonna do effectively this shenanigans again for this use case. So we're gonna find user. Oh, I missed the actual fetch, didn't I? Okay. So we're gonna find event user by anonymous ID, except we're not gonna do anonymous, but we're gonna do by user ID. We're gonna give it project, and we're gonna give it user ID, and then we're gonna say find user either. If that's failure, then we're gonna throw, then we're going to get the value. No, this should be, oh yeah, that's an option. If it's expected to find a user, but we didn't find a user. And then we're gonna check. But here, we're gonna change this last seen to new last seen. And that should be that. Everything else should be the same. Okay, update event user last seen when something should something. And failed to update user. Update event user last seen error. Invalid input syntax for type UUID stub user ID. Huh. Huh. Oh, wait. What? What did I do in here? Stub user ID. How did the other one work? The other one doesn't care? We have ID and project ID. User ID is not. Now I'm curious. What is going on? Update event user set last seen. Oh, where ID is that? Oh, craptasticness. Update event user last seen. Update event user last seen. Okay, well, maybe it should just be a... There's a little bit of confusion. Everything's okay, so it doesn't seem like there's a bug. I was confused because there's, on event user, there's a user ID and an ID, but their record type is event user. So it's a little bit confusing as like this. If we wanted to be explicit in the other form, it would be something like this: event user, user ID. And I was confused as to whether this was the user ID property on the event user or the ID property on the event user. And it is the ID property, and the documentation solidifies that. So I was just confused and should have looked at my own documentation, I guess. But that's why this is failing, was because I made that mistake and passed in the wrong value, I think. Okay, we're still failing. Oh, did I not do it in the right place? Oh, no, I did not do it in the right place. Oh, wait, crap. Yeah, this inconsistency is confusing. Okay. So this is the update, but then the find that we have, the find, the user ID, maybe we should true that, the user ID of the event user to search for. Okay. Still, it's a bit obnoxious from an API standpoint. Might want to change that, but we can change that as a separate change. Okay. All right, now this one's going to be very similar because we are going to want to do basically the same thing. We're going to have a stub user. We're going to have new last seen. except we are going to update event user anonymous ID and last seen. So we're gonna have a last seen, but we're also gonna have a new anonymous ID equal to new anonymous ID, let's say. And then this guy is going to take event user ID, which is the ID of it again, and then it's going to take anonymous ID and last seen. So we're going to give it new anonymous ID and new last seen, and this is going to return a promise of an either a void, okay, or the error, which is what we're handling here. Find event user by ID again should be fine. And then when we're down here, we should have this. But anonymous ID should not be equal to stub event. It should now be equal to new anonymous ID. Okay. And we're green. We're passing green. Okay. Okay, what else do we have in DB? I think that's it. So we have, let's see. That's metrics DB, that's different. Okay, so we just did our happy path for update event user anonymous ID and last seen. We did find event user by anonymous ID, update event user last seen, find event user by user ID, create event user we did. Fetch greeting is garbage. We don't need to do that. It was to test the database connection. Base error is just a type. We're not doing that. Event user is just a type. And this is the main module index. Don't have to do anything with that. Sweet. Okay. All right. So let's clean things up a little bit. npm run test. Let's make sure our test suite runs still. Okay. Looks like everything is running still. Let's make sure our database is still happy and looks like it, and yeah, we're still there. All right. Okay, what do we got going on here? What of these things are we actually using? We shifted to DB utils. We have our DB utils. We have our DB spec. Those are trued up. Our local env.test. We need to add a .getIgnore for that. Explicit. Okay. And not even being a test GP. part of this. Oh, I can't change that yet. We got to get these all committed. Okay. We have tests handler and tests hoopty and setup test. Are we using setup test? Test setup? No, we're not using this thing anymore. Okay. Let's get rid of the, oh, no. Oh, yes. Confirm deletion of yes. Let's go look at hoopty. Hoopty was just so I had another test file in the suite. We can get rid of that. Hoopty, yes. Handler. Handler is where we start from the outside in. Okay. So we don't really want to get rid of handler yet, but we don't. It's going to be a separate thing. Okay, so let's start staging things as separate things real quick. Okay, and let's make sure. Got a lot going on here. Get diff ESLint RC. Okay, we removed ESLint RC. We removed the prettier recommended plugin because that should no longer be necessary. And then test environment should be node. And let's put that back. I think we can put that back now. We got extra. What do we got? JSON. Is that necessary? Did I need to do that? I don't think so. Oh, no, I don't want that. How did I change this? Formatting? We got some formatting. Let's go back in there and see if it's still. Okay. Alright, so this might be. Okay, let's upgraded to the latest best and ESLint and Prettier, so that I could get rid of the ESLint plus Prettier integration, as it is now frowned upon. Instead, you are now supposed to just have your editor do the formatting with Prettier and have your editor do the linting with ESLint as separate things. Okay. So this is like, what is that's fixed formatting. We got this guy. What is that guy? Oh, that's fix a comment. So this is make docs clear for find event user by user ID. There. I was confused as to if the user ID property param should be the user's event user.id or the event user.userid. I updated the docs to make it a bit clearer. Okay. How did this change? That we do not care about. Yeah. That is just from exploration of the formatting weirdness that I was seeing. Okay. So then we got this git add source configs env fix some formatting. Okay, and then Okay, let's organize this stuff a little bit now. Let's move that to the bottom of the stack. Let's move that right above it. Shouldn't matter about that. Let's can move this. Let's squash that, and then we'll have that. Seems right. Oh, we got a conflict. That's strange. What do we got a conflict with? Interactive rebase. We got a conflict between our package JSON and SLS. So we played this already, and we are going to play this next, but we're in the middle of, this is a feature I need to add to GPS LS, is I want to see the patch that I'm currently in the middle of in the interactive rebase. It shows me the rest of the patches, and it shows me the ones that have already been played when we're in the middle of the rebase, but it doesn't show me the one that is currently being operated on. We can figure it out from just looking here, I believe. Yeah, because we're here. Here's head. So, well, it all depends on what the order was in that to-dos. But if I remember correctly, I guess this isn't a great example of this. But the other way to find this out is to actually go look. Let me see. Appfit, lambda dot get. Where are we? Rebase merge. Okay. Head and name. Forget about this fatal thing. That's just because I have other shell stuff trying to get things in here. And stopped SHA, so that'll tell us embedding stopped SHA 862. 862. It's this guy. Upgraded to latest. So it's trying to play this guy. And that's the one it stopped at. Okay. And that's it. It failed actually with the test stuff, none of the other stuff. All right. Well, that should be a simple fix because should just be this going forward. Cool. And then we can npm install, and then we can restage this, and then we should be able to do get rebase -- continue. And okay, now we got our package JSON again. Package JSON, yep. Oh, head has this. Whip setup integrations had that. Let's go with this one. Whip setup integration tests. Why do I not have? Oh, there we go. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right. Cool. So we got this patch, we got this upgraded to latest Jest, ESLint, we got this fix some code formatting, we got this make docs clear, we got this add DB module integration test, and we have this handler integration test work in progress patch. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Let's get some of this going. Let's do a GPS int of cool. Let's do this int f0 upgrade to the latest of that. Yes, let's do that. Let's sure we can integrate that. Let's make docs clear. Yes. Okay. Before we put this one in the bag, let's open the README. Let's. Okay, we need some help here. Okay. All right, chat. Chattity chat. I will be right back. I gotta pee. All right. Let me marker. Okay, let's get some tunes. I don't know what happened to the tune.